All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. And so in this particular case study, we're talking about employment recruitment. This can fall into workforce development recruitment, meaning if you're looking for local residents for career training opportunities, it's a great workforce development conversation. But in this case, employment recruitment, and we're using community relations as a tool to reach those employment recruitment goals. And so we're going to use client Express Employment Professionals, Nashville North and Downtown office for the case study. They're a staffing service, staffing company in the Nashville area, providing human relations solutions for the northern part of the greater Nashville area. And so we're going to talk about the project overview, as well as challenges and objectives, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for this particular experience, the problems, solutions, what are the results, and how you can get in touch. And so just in regards to the overview of the project, the goal for this staffing company was to pretty much own its territory so that all community residents in the areas it served knew that they can go to the staffing company for employment. Now, granted, this staffing company did require individuals to have experience as well as skills, so it's more of your higher end sustainable pay rates. But nonetheless, the goal was to make sure that residents knew that Express Employment Professionals was an advocate of getting and keeping a job. And so if you look at this picture here, on my left, there's myself, but then you also have Express franchise owner Jason Patrick there. In the middle, we have a young lady serving as the community relations specialist for a elementary school in his territory. And she stopped by his office, and Express gifted her with some cool items. Took a picture with the owner in front of the winner circle to just really strengthen that relationship. And you may be saying, well, why does the school connect with the staffing company? Well, the idea is there's kids at the school and the kids have parents. And from time to time, parents need jobs and they connect with those specialists and professionals at the school to see what kind of resources are available for jobs. And again, Express wants to be one of the first employment opportunities mentioned. So therefore, that's one way to own your territory. So some of the challenges at this time was not many community sources knew about Express and their available jobs. Community sources are what I call community sources are groups, brands, if you will, either that pretty much connect to people, faith-based organizations, educational, corrections, grocery stores, apartment complexes, housing, nonprofit organizations. Anywhere where you're going to have people that are in a particular territory, they need to make sure that those brands are cross-promoting with Express. So there wasn't really a lot of buy-in at the time that Express had relationships with community sources. Another challenge was at the time there was no community relations specialist for Express, meaning once the relationship is built with the brand and the community source, who can they connect with within the staffing company to get community relations and things, questions they have regarding their network and their adults and students they work with to get those questions answered, because keep in mind, Express reached out to the community source. And then also the overall goal respectfully was to increase the number of applicants for Express. And with them being a staffing company, more applicants means more job matching and opportunities, and employers can get productivity done. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. So some of the objectives was to increase the number of community sources for the staffing company. You got to make sure that those relationships were there, and then make sure there was a point of contact once those relationships were built and introduced, as far as the community source connecting with the Express office, thus your community relations specialist. And also you want to make sure that those community sources were actually promoting and sharing those available jobs and the job flyers with their network so the network could apply for the available jobs. So some of the strengths were the simple fact that our firm already being a community relations specialist in itself. So we had strong relationships in those communities that Express wanted to connect with. We are very skilled as community relations specialists in that regard. So we're going to build that strong working relationship between the two brands. And the company did provide a car as well as a cell phone. And that did make it easier for our corporate ambassador, which was the representative that went to the community to represent Express to the community sources to get the job done. Some of the weaknesses was the fact that there was no staffing, a community relations specialist, so we had to build that process. But in that opportunity, we could create and set up Express to be the go-to employer and staffing company in that area, and through this model. And we also, as far as opportunities, wanted to advocate through Express to the residents how to and why it's important to find and keep a job. And some of the threats were, at the time, where people may not be looking for employment, so you kind of speaking to the air there, or public policy, kind of making it harder for employment, especially respectfully through the pandemic era or stage. And then also a threat is once this model is proven, you become the go-to, other employers may want to get their own community relations specialists, and therefore it dilutes the ownership of the territory for Express, or Express has to work that much harder because now employers and workforce development groups are intentionally reaching out to community sources to connect with the local residents. And so the problem again was the staffing company did not own the territory. Got to know your neighbors. Community sources still have to learn about Express, so you got to have a working relationship going. And then you want to make sure that those community sources are actually buying into Express and having their network apply for those skilled positions. So residents had to feel confident, and that Express would give them the best opportunity for employment, especially if the resident felt they were qualified for the job. As far as solutions go, and especially when it comes to Express not owning their territory, the immediate solution was, as a community relations specialist, that corporate ambassador had to get out there and just build working relationships with community sources. And and it was broken down into zip codes. And so you picked a particular zip code for a particular day, and you kind of just hit every street, if you will. So you just didn't miss any nook or cranny. And that's a very intimate type of marketing, relationship building when you have that touch compared to digital marketing. Because then in real time, you get questions and concerns answered, build that relationship. Hey, come on down to the office. A lot of conversation can happen from there. And then you wanted to make sure once that relationship was created, support those community sources by participating in any activity or as much activity as you can, so that the source can start to see your face, build trust, build working relationships, and see how you maneuver around their network. And from there, the sources were invited to the Express office for a lunch and learn, where the sources had a chance to not only enjoy a good meal, but meet the owner, meet the staff, take a tour of the facility, get their questions and concerns answered, know who they will be talking with, and that's how you own your territory. And from there, Express for our solution did a good job of email marketing through newsletters and just sending out various educational content that would benefit the community sources network. And we came to getting residents to apply. We definitely wanted to create testimonials for those that have worked with Express, so that the current or prospective community residents can buy in. We wanted to make sure that every job flyer could be posted in stores and everywhere a resident could walk in and out of, laundromats, those yard signs. If you see those during election season, those yard signs, but it was Express one, and a lot of the high traffic areas by the bus lines as well. And that's how you pretty much own your territory. So from the results, we eventually got to a point of bringing in 700 new applicants a month for the company, became the go-to employment agency in the territory, in the area, especially when it came to Express and the community relations specialists participating in panels, job fairs, all kind of activities. So it was a win-win on both sides. And during that process, we had a chance to intern with 2 college students from the local area. So they got some hands-on community relations specialist training. And from there, our company has increased in the number of employers wanting to connect with us so that they can own their territory to increase their presence in the community and thus increase the number of applicants for their business. And so if you want to get in touch with us on increasing your applicants, make sure you can reach out through email, find us on LinkedIn, give us a call, or visit our website. And we would love to connect with you and see how we can be of service. Wish you a great rest of the day.